Welcome everyone to Cinema Regulars, the movie review show where we see so many movies in theaters that the employees know us by name and they don't ask us what movies we're seeing, they ask us how many. Now, today, we have kind of a mixed bag going on here. We'll be starting off with a new action movie featuring Josh Hartnett, Fight or Flight, and then we will be moving on to another new action movie, Shadow Force. And then we'll be finishing up with a Shudder exclusive horror movie, Clown in a Cornfield, which is apparently based off a book, surprisingly. As always, guys, be sure to subscribe because it really helps out our channel. Feel free to use the timestamps below to skip ahead to your favorite movie or just skip ahead to the rankings if that's all you care about. And now, without further ado, let us move on into our first movie of the night, Fight or Flight. Isaac, take us away with the description, please.
A mercenary takes on the job of tracking a high-value asset known only as the Ghost on an international flight. Realizing the plane is filled with assassins assigned to kill them both, the pair must work together in a fight for their lives.
All right. I was actually rather impressed with this movie.
This movie was really, really, really fun.
Yeah. Uh, I will admit it is quite similar to, the crowning achievement that is Bullet Train. But
Yes.
that just adds to the things I like about it. No, I thought all the action was really well done. I liked the shocking amount of gore and blood that was in this, especially the first kill.
Oh yeah.
The first kill in the
Oh.
bathroom, it just completely sets the stage up for everything else that you're gonna be. It's like this is the level of shit you're gonna be dealing with for the rest of the movie, and it paints a
Yeah.
pretty decent picture here.
Yeah, it has it's similar but different to Bullet Train in many ways. 'Cause
Because
Bullet
this
Train,
time, it's a plane.
well, yeah, obviously. But like whereas Bullet Train was more about building an interconnected web of
Oh
all
yeah,
the characters that are involved in the movie. This movie is literally it's these characters. Like I thought they were gonna have a thing like that where everyone that came at them was gonna have their own little quirk or
hmm,
something because it kind of started like that. But then it kind of very quickly fell into this. Oh no, it's just the whole plan against these two,
yeah.
against these
Like
people. That's what it devolved into. But it was still fun. Like it opted out from the cinematography and the storytelling aspect that Bullet Train had for pure action,
yeah.
and I liked that.
So this is like a third. So let's compare this to Bullet Train and Kill. One of the
Yes,
criticisms I have of this movie is that all the enemies are really impersonal. Like in Bullet
that's
Train,
what.
everyone's uh, at each other's throat, and they all have
Yeah,
like a special characteristic. They have their own little flashback
they're
backstory. Like they have their own
yeah.
whole thing going on. Like even the wolf in Bullet Train, like he had like a full 10-minute backstory or something, only for a 2-minute fight and then immediately die,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
was funny. But like all the villains have their own things going on, their own plans, they're all interconnected and all that. Like every piece of the puzzle working here. In Kill that we reviewed on the podcast, um, all the bad guys are like a mass. It's one big bad guy because it's a family. So you don't need to know them all personally. You just know that they are all connected to each other and they're attacking as a group. Okay? So every
Yeah,
person that dies that on the bad guy side, like every person they kill is going to be like a personal attack on the rest of the family cuz that's like their cousin or their uncle or something, and then they have a scene where they're crying over every dead body they find because that's someone close to them.
yeah, it's their family.
So
Like
there's weight to
I
those
was hope.
kills.
Yeah, I do understand why they didn't go that route with this one
Well,
because
right.
It's a
narratively,
massive train,
yeah,
and it's full of assassins.
narratively that doesn't make sense to do that here, but it's
Yeah,
something that this movie is missing that sets it apart from the other two, because it's
yeah.
basically just like I liked how they got them all there. I thought that was really smart. Is that like, hey, we found on the dark web, we found out where the ghost is gonna be, and then they were like, oh shit, if we can find it, anyone else looking can find it too. So there's gonna be
Yeah.
so everybody's hunting the ghost here. Um, another complaint. I thought it was super fucking obvious who the ghost was the entire movie. Like I figured it out from the first trailer. Like they did not.
Yeah, a fun thing about this, remember, I didn't watch a trailer for this.
Ah, well,
I never did.
I'm sure you figured it
Yeah,
out far
I went
before he did as
I
well.
oh, I did, yes. I was like, "Oh yeah, it's got to be this one." But like I yeah, this was interesting for me because I only went to see this movie because all I needed was Josh Hartnett on a plane with a bunch of killers. Say less.
Yeah, I said
I
it's
didn't
basically
care.
bullet plane. It's bullet train on a
And
plane, and you were like, oh, I'm there.
I said, "You son of a bitch, I'm in." And then
Yeah, I think Josh
like
Hartnett did a pretty good job.
he's the literally the best thing about the whole movie.
Yeah, like I
There
he was the one thing that I liked about Trap. I thought his portrayal and his acting was actually like fairly good.
Yeah, the only thing about that movie that the thing that shot that movie in the foot was they had a pivot
The,
moment in that movie,
there
and that
was
was weird.
there was a lot of things that shot that movie in the foot, but we'll not
True,
get
but
into
like
that
yeah.
again.
Yeah, but again, yeah. But no, he's a great actor. He plays like it was cool because we went from seeing him as like a panicking psychopath,
Yeah,
like he's kind of like figuring things out, but he's still calm and collected. He's figuring things out. To like dude whose whole life has fallen apart, and he's just literally on instinct. Which is why it's a very appropriate. The movie is called Fight or Flight. Like
hmm
he's been hunted for the past 2 years,
yeah, and now he's
like
got
in this
his
country, and he
one chance.
oh, shit, sorry.
Good.
But yeah, no. This was the action in this movie was phenomenal.
Hmm.
I loved all of it. The fight choreography was great. It was a lot of fun. They did a very good job of like utilizing stuff. They did get a little crazy with like the props, I will say.
Yeah,
Like, granted, it is a massive plane, so there's any number of people, and they are flying from Bangkok. So, a lot of weird people on board. Like, literally, the only thing I think that they found in the luggage that makes literally zero sense to me is the chainsaw. And I don't care because he got to use a chainsaw.
it's true. Yeah.
Like, I didn't care. Like, it's only now that I'm realizing that it's kind of dumb that a chainsaw is on an
Isaac,
airplane. But I
Isaac, are
didn't
you
care because it was fucking dope as shit.
Isaac? Are you insinuating that China's airport security is just as good and as tight as America's?
Fair.
Yeah. Um, I only really have two other complaints, and they're pretty
Okay.
trivial. I wasn't a big fan of the ghost turning out to be a good guy all along. Like, I thought it would
That's
have been
fair.
cool to just be like, the ghost is a terrorist. I'm here. It's like I got you in a box because I'm the only one out of all the people here after you who wants you alive. Everyone else wants you
Yeah.
dead. I just
Yeah.
want you
So
alive.
it's yeah, like that was cool, and then him flipping it. Granted, they telegraphed that way earlier
Yeah,
in the
they did.
movie.
But the ghost is
Like
like
they
some kind
telegraphed
of
it.
like eco terrorist. Like I blew up the factory because they use slave workers. And I was like, oh great. So Not not because I'm very pro slave worker, but what's wrong with just having a bad guy here?
Yeah, exactly.
Because like
Like
that was
they immediately they gave you a bad guy and they gave him a target and then immediately took it out.
yeah.
Like they took it away.
It's like now you're
And
best
like
buds with the
it's
bad
fine.
guy.
Um I also oh, what was your other one that you said
Oh,
that you had?
I didn't like the kung fu ladies. I thought they were just like
I
unnecessary, and instead of turning it into like Josh Hartnett, the one guy, and the asset that he's protecting from everyone else, now there's just like three other martial arts masters who are also in the mix on this. Like, there's too many people. It's supposed to be like one guy fighting
yeah.
off everybody, but now there's like it's five people fighting off everybody and something. But I guess they technically kind of needed them for like a distraction for part of the plan. And then I mean they needed somebody to actually kill for you to feel bad about, or else or else it was just him killing all the bad guys, and
Yeah.
then that's it. He wins. I mean, I would be fine with that. You don't have to kill anyone off. I didn't feel terribly torn up about the random, uh, you know, geisha martial artists whose names were never spoken in the movie. But
Yeah.
I
Like
get it.
that was
I wasn't a fan, but you know, it is what it is. Everything
they
else,
were kind of they were kind of random. They seemed like it kind of seemed like they were thrown in there just so it wasn't a 2v100.
yeah. This I
Like,
almost had a third complaint outside of
yeah.
that one, because I'm notoriously not a fan of drug sequences.
True.
Like
But
guy
like
takes drugs and he's like, whoa, what? And then there's like barfing kittens everywhere. He's like, this is crazy. But they saved it with like the lady
yeah.
who stands up. He's got like a pickaxe in his hands and he's like going like into the kill box to like kill all the bad guys, right? And he
Yeah.
sipped the wrong thing and he got toad venom and now he's tripping balls, right? Um,
Yeah.
and there's all these colors and whatnot, and then like this one lady stands up and like she's ready to like fight him and she's like talking shit to him and he's like not there. And then she's just like blah 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 and at him and he's just like
And
and
then
then all of a
confetti
sudden,
starts coming up
yeah,
from
all
her
of a sudden
head.
like sparklers, like fireworks
Oh
sparklers come
right.
shooting out of her head and she's like, whoa, that's pretty. And then it cuts back to real life and he had like driven the pickaxe straight into the top of her skull and it was just fountaining out blood out of her head and just getting all over the other passengers and stuff. And I was like, all right, that's kind of funny. I like that. I like that.
Yeah. The only I liked the I kind of like the supporting cast a small bit, like outside of not supporting cast. What's the word? The actual bad guys of the movie, like the main ones, the CEI, the CIA or whatever. They weren't even like an agency, were they? They
No,
were just
it
like
was like
some data collection thing, right?
no, it was like Blue Sky.
Yeah, or something like that.
It
Like it
was
was some
literally
sort of like
like some kind of like social media headquarters.
yeah, and they were like doing like secret something, whatever. Nah, I don't know. The only thing that I like so the FBI guy or not the FBI guy, the agent guy, the
Yeah.
one that's like we can't let the blonde this lady find out and all that shit. Uh I only thing I actually know him from, and this was shocking. When I looked it up, apparently he was in Creature Commandos.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was Sergey and Alexei.
Oh, I like them.
Yeah, he was that. And the lady, only other thing I know her from was she was Amunet Black in The Flash.
Don't know who
She
that
was
is.
this.
I
She was this random metahuman, and she was a bitch. That was literally her whole character.
okay. I thought you said there
Uh
was something you didn't like, and then you just
oh yeah.
listed
The
off
thing
their casting choices.
I apologize.
No, go ahead.
I I have to say I didn't like the fact that like this movie was so close to being like way better if they would have just toned down the cast a bit. Like that's my big
What do
thing
you
is
mean?
that it's so like in the fact that if they would have been able to build up like even if they would have gone the route less of like how Bullet Train and them did it, like kind of like how Killer's Game ran, where like it's all these different people, but instead of it being a massive amount of them, it's like groups and stuff. Like how in fucking Killer's Game they
Oh,
had like
so you would
the
rather
Torelli brothers
you
and
would
stuff like
you would
that.
rather them have like less killers but with more personality
Yes, that's what I was. That's
rather
what I
than
would. That
having
would have
like
been better.
hundreds of like faceless drones. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
was
because
that's what I was saying cuz they're if they're very
yeah.
impersonal, they're kind of just
Well,
like
what's worse is they started out that way. Like they had what was his name? I don't even remember his name
I
now.
don't know, the
Uh
dancer, the singer, whatever he
yeah,
was.
whatever he was. They had him and then like, oh, okay, we're gonna get a little bit more of this, and then they even had like the mafia guys, like they were all the same. I mean, granted they didn't have any names, but he's like, oh, I recognize these dudes,
Yeah, they had a
like,
couple that were just
but
like
then
oh, he's a
after
big
that, it was
hitman.
just dudes in hoodies.
Yeah.
The only other person outside of that was the chick that you mentioned, where you just fountaining blood from her head.
Yeah,
The
she
rest were
started a
just
yap
guys in
session.
hoodies.
She started a yap session mid battle, which was
Yeah.
not a great play, not a good plan.
No. But no, all the action and all the gore and everything makes up for a lot of that. It just didn't put it in like the stratosphere that Kill and Bullet Train
Yeah,
is.
no, I think they just went absolutely crazy on the action and the gore, and
Yeah.
they had a banger of a time. At least Josh Hartnett did.
Yeah. I think we're good to wrap up to the rankings on this.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna give this a pretty decent 7 out of 10.
All
Writing
right.
is not astronomical, but it is a hell of a fun ride. A lot of the action and a lot of the gore is done really, really enjoyably well, and I just had a massive amount of fun watching all this. It's like Bullet Train. It's like Kill. I like whatever kind of genre this is. People on a big vehicle just fighting each other to the death. It's a good genre. I
Yeah.
approve.
It's very it's like a crossover between like the John Wick style movie and like just in a contained space.
Yeah.
It's kind of what that feeling is, and it's pretty nice. I'm also giving this movie a 7 out of 10. I have it right up there with like Novocaine and stuff like that. It was just a lot of fun, and like all the action and everything was great. I loved it. I want to see Josh Hartnett in more stuff. Like I really, really do. He's finding an element that works really well for him, and I can't wait to see more of it.
Nice. Moving on to our next movie of the night, we have Shadow Force. All I can say is that it's an action movie because I don't really. I don't know the director, don't know any of the actors really. So I guess I'll just hand it over to Isaac.
An estranged couple with a bounty on their heads must go on the run with their son to avoid their former employer, a unit of shadow ops that has been sent to kill them.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, that sums it about up. Uh,
There
I,
was literally only two actors in this whole fucking movie that I actually recognized.
by force, I recognized the auntie lady just because we've been seeing the atrocious and godforsaken trailer for Rebel Wilson's Bride Hard,
Right, she is in that.
which we
Oh,
will
I lied.
not be seeing. Sorry to
Yeah.
disappoint all you Rebel Wilson fans. We're not watching that. We don't
No,
hate
we're not.
ourselves that much.
I lied. I recognized three actors in this movie. Only three.
Yeah.
The rest are just like faceless names. Because I recognized one of the dude's goons. Uh, Obviously Mark Strong, because he was in the Kingsman movies. I liked him. He was the
Yeah,
guy that was going after them. And the dad.
you were gonna say the black one. I was
I
like, you
was, and then
might
I
have
realized
to
that
be a little bit more specific, Isaac.
and the only reason I recognized the dad is because he was in Jurassic World.
uh,
He was the guy that was working with Owen with the Raptors.
uh, nice.
Literally the only reason I recognize him. But other than that, this movie is
Yeah,
uh
it's super mid. It is not really anything special. Um, I
Jason Statham could be right at home in this movie. I'm not gonna lie. Like
yeah, is I mean I liked the like it was a lot like family focused. Like it was a
that
mom, a
was
dad, and a
cool.
kid, and they're just like like the mom and dad were just like I'm gonna give everything I can to protect my husband slash wife and our son. You know.
Yeah, so we had that. One thing I didn't like because it doesn't make sense in a family dynamic. And it's gonna sound, and I know in today's day and age, it's stupid. It's weird to say it.
Oh boy.
Not really though. The dad should be the one away, right? Like the dad should not be the one with the kid. It should be the mom with the kid, right? Am I wrong
Well,
there?
was he born deaf or did he become deaf on a mission?
I think he became deaf
Okay,
on a
well then
mission.
then that's probably why is because
Oh,
vision.
he does have like a disability. Yeah, that does make sense, I guess.
The disability check, which leads me to believe that he suddenly gained his magic like take his earbuds out power relatively recently. Not
Yeah. Well,
entirely sure how
the
long
way
he's been deaf for, but
well, he's been deaf since definitely before she got pregnant.
yeah,
Because he even stated that like while she was pregnant, she would tap her finger
yeah,
on his head so
so he
he
could
could
hear the
hear the
heartbeat.
heartbeat.
Right.
Yeah,
I
like
I
so
like
it's
that.
been
I
a
like that.
while
That
a
was
little
kind
bit.
of cute. And then they did that at the
That was
end.
cool.
She did that to him again at the end to tell
Yeah.
him that she's pregnant again. I thought that was cute. That was sweet.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real with you. Before I started that whole thing about the dad should be gone, I totally forgot he had a disability because that's how fucking unforgettable this movie is.
Very
And then
forgettable.
they had they had that I'm gonna just say it. They had aunt and auntie auntie and uncle or whatever the fuck their names were. Auntie and uncle or whatever the fuck they
Yeah.
were in here just to be stereotypically black for this movie. Like that's what they were. Like
I mean, to be fair, the auntie character was literally called Auntie, and her entire
yeah,
personality could be summed up with the expression, mm-hmm. So,
yeah, like it
that's
was
the character.
I do have to say I did really like the way that they handled like these types of people having a child.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Like
thought that
like
was done pretty well. Like in the
like when they
sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead, finish your
No,
thought.
like
That's fine.
in the sphere. I mean, obviously there's like what is it called? I forget the term off the top of my head, but like in order to like believe the movie, you kind of just have to accept things. So like in
Yeah.
the belief sphere of, you know, these secret agents and spies and shooting and whatever, like it is a relatively like realistic way that they're have their son and, you know, raising him in
Yeah.
that way. So I think it wasn't entirely like crazy. They didn't go like too off the deep end with all the action or with like any of the relationships or anything. Like it all felt fairly believable. um
Yeah.
the only thing, and it just beat my, you know, personal thing, is that I don't know if the son had a heavy accent, a speech impediment, or both. It might have been both, but he was very, very hard to understand for the most of the movie. So he didn't have a
Yeah.
whole lot of lines, but the little that he did have, I couldn't decipher any of them. The dad was kind of the same because he's got like a really thick French accent.
Yeah, that
But
was
it was
that was
easier.
another
It
thing
was
about this
easier to
movie is
pick
they
up on, but like a lot of it will just get. Yeah, you lost me, dude. Like,
yeah, that was another thing this movie did a lot of that I wasn't a fan of is like switching back and forth. Like they fluently switch between French and English a lot,
yeah,
and they don't always translate. That's one of the reasons why I was okay with it. Like when we watched Kill,
yeah,
like they kind of were doing this like thing where it was like it sometimes speak what is it, Hindi or
Hindi.
whatever it is. Yeah, and then they like throw English in there a little bit, and I guess that's probably just like a way their language has evolved or whatever. But no matter what, it still had it in subtitles.
Yeah,
Like, but like, and like sometimes when they do it and they wouldn't have subtitles, it would just like they just like say it afterwards. But there were some times where you had no subtitles and you had no idea what the hell was just said,
yeah,
and like all you have is like the sentiment of how they said it, and that's it.
yeah.
That's all
There
you
was
got.
some stuff that it just kind of whatever they were saying is just yeah. I'm lost. I didn't get that. Rewind it.
Yeah.
Go back. I didn't hear what he said.
Yeah, also the kid is just like I think he's also just really young is what it is. Is all it is like cuz he has no like birthday and nothing like before 2021 credited to him.
Is that Isaac? He's a child. You're not gonna find anything on IMDb.
True, but
He's
like he's
like
just I
actually
think
five, Isaac.
what I'm saying is that's I'm trying to explain this is back to your point of like he had a like a weird thing is just he's just young, I think. He's just
Yeah.
really young. And it's like kids they can get a handle on language, but it does like it's just weird. This is the way
And
that
I'm
he
aware,
was
but I'm
speaking.
just saying
I
that's
did
gonna
like
affect the movie.
that was another thing that was nice though is like the dynamic that he had with his son
Yeah, I thought that was
was
done
really
very well
nice.
as well.
Like the all the family stuff for this movie was really good. The action was kind of boring. Like it was
Yeah.
kind of like just generic action stuff. The
Well,
movie
the
there
whole
was nothing
thing was just
crazy.
kind of generic. I mean,
Well,
there's
because
really
the
not a
thing
whole
is
lot to set it apart.
yeah. Well, that's the thing is that it should have been set apart. Like these are elite shadow like special ops people.
I
Like
mean,
they should be like they're supposed to be like so good that the government hired them to be their cleanup crew kind of thing. Like this was a thing where once you're in you never get out. Like these people should be the best of the best of the best of the best. And like some of them died in really dumbass ways.
it's true.
Like one of them it was like these guys are supposed to be this good, and they're just doing normal action shit. Like it was kind of lame.
Yeah. The only other thing I gotta say, I get that they're secret agents. I get that they're black ops or whatever. But when the mom and dad finally like met back up at the secret cabin or whatever,
Yeah,
they were legit trying to kill each other. Like they were not
yeah.
holding
That
back.
like she was angry with him. I get that, and that was that. Like there's also nothing in the movie that wasn't established that that's like a love language or something of there. Like they spar for fun
That was
or
not
something like
sparring.
that.
That was not
No,
sparring. They
they
were
were that was
she
legit
was
trying to kill him.
strangling him or he was strangling her the other way around or something. They put one of them through the table and shattered it.
Yeah.
And they were like
Yeah,
strangling each other and shit. Like they were this is actual attempted homicide on screen
yeah,
of your wife and husband that you are quote unquote so protective of. It didn't look like
yeah,
sparring.
yeah. So I don't really have much. Also, shout out Lionel Richie for some reason
I
for
suppose.
this movie. like, like he was. a strangely big part of this movie. Like the dad just likes Lionel Richie. It's like, hey, I guess they got the rights to him and they just wanted to only use his music.
It's true.
This is weird. Anyway, I got nothing else really to say about this movie. It was pretty mid. I mean, we've said more about like a lot of positives and stuff like that and some negatives, but like the movie didn't, for it being a family movie, it made me feel like zero
Well,
emotion.
family in the Vin Diesel way. It's not
Yeah,
a it's not a
family.
family it's not a family movie.
Family.
It's a family movie. So,
Yeah.
um
I'll start off. I'm gonna give this movie a 5.
yeah, I'm right there with you. 5 out of 10. It's super generic. There's not really anything to set it apart.
It's very
I
like it's like
Yeah, like
I mean,
I guarantee you, like 6 months from now, if you ask me to tell you anything about the movie, all I can remember is the guy's death, maybe.
at Kellen, be honest. The only thing you'll remember is the characters were black.
Well, I mean, it's true.
Let's be honest.
Honestly, I'm just gonna get a picture of like them tied up on like the weird island house.
Oh yeah, I
I mean,
forgot about
I'm gonna
that.
say that
You
island
said
house
that
was
they're
fucking
they're
swank.
yeah,
I'm gonna
that
fucking
was
cool.
cool.
That's gonna be the only
Uh,
thing I'll remember is just that
their
shot.
code names you said like
Oh
it
yeah,
translated to dark shadow basically,
yeah.
right?
Ombre and sombra. That's Ombra and sombra. That's dark and shadow. And I knew that because I had
Yeah,
created a character for my books, and his name was Ombra Sombra, and he was like a shadow guy, and he was a French
yeah.
superhero or something. And I was like, well, fuck. I knew I should have copyrighted that at the time.
All right.
Right, moving on to our final movie of the night, we have from Shudder, Clown in a Cornfield. Isaac, take us away, please.
Looking for a fresh start, Quinn and her father moved to the quiet town of Kettle Springs. They soon learn the fractured community has fallen on hard times after losing a treasured factory to a fire. As the locals bicker among themselves and tensions boil over, a sinister grinning clown emerges from the cornfields to cleanse the town of its burdens, one bloody victim at a time. Fuck you! Fuck you! That is false advertising. That is
Yeah,
exactly what that is. That is false advertising.
if you allow me, Isaac, to address the clown in the cornfield here, the there's more than one. There's
Yeah. That's the
they
problem is that
blew
this
it.
movie the movie had such a cool premise. I thought this was going to be like a almost like a not necessarily I know what you did last summer shit, but like it's that kind of entity.
Like a
You know
scream
what I mean?
type, a scream clone.
Yeah, kind of like that, where it's like something happened, you fucked with the wrong person, this thing's coming after you.
Yeah,
Like it's that kind of thing. Like I was expecting it to be a dude in the town, but like I was also under the thing where it's like, oh, it could be just like, Friendo is like this like supernatural being or something like that,
yeah,
and
it could have
that's
been
why they do
anything.
it.
So
But
yeah, I
go
get you.
ahead.
So the movie basically there's this group of friends and they fuck with the parade and then there's a you pissed off friendo now he's coming after you kind of thing. One guy dies by the clown like in his home, and then a second guy dies by the clown in his home. So it's like, oh, where are these two guys? Have you seen it? So like they get two kills in before like suspicion sets in or whatever. And then at the big night party where everything goes down, the clown comes out of the cornfield and then they like kill him or blow his hand off or something. And then
One of them like shoots him like point blank in the chest with a shotgun, and you're like, "Whoa, what the fuck? Where's this going?
well, I
Where's the
thought they
movie
just
going?"
like blew his hand off because like that was what the doctor
That
did.
was a different one. That was a different one.
See, it's hard to tell because there's all
Yeah.
these clowns now. And
Yeah.
then
Uh,
whatever happens, and then like 20 clowns all come out of the cornfield, and then you're just immediately like, oh, it's the whole town. All right,
yeah.
mystery
That's the thing.
solved.
It's
It's
like,
not a mystery anymore. It's the whole town.
yeah, you're
Maybe
sitting
not
here
be
thinking,
the
oh, it's
whole
this
town, but
because you have like suspicious characters it's setting you up
yeah, it's like
with
this guy's weird.
everything.
This guy is like really
The
angry
sheriff
for
is
no
kind of
reason.
dodgy.
What's going on
Yeah.
here? Why is the sheriff spitting up lemons? It's Will Sasso.
Yeah.
That's a joke people this age won't get. Um,
but it's it just kind of robbed the rest of the movie
yeah,
because then
because
it just became because then it immediately switched from who done it to why. It immediately switched
and
like in
and
that
the thing
moment because
is,
normally you have the who done it up until you figure out who it is,
yeah.
and then you get the explanation of why. But instead we already had the who immediately, so you're just sitting there waiting for the why.
Well, because
And then the why.
they give you the first two kills like in the house, like so, like literally
Yeah.
the guy like turns around and then he turns back and then there's a little Jack in the Box, right? So it could be like a supernatural thing. Like that was one of my prospects. It was
Yeah.
either just some guy in the town, or it's like a supernatural thing, like you messed with the whatever and then a demon in the shape of a clown is you pissed it off, or something
Yeah.
like that. Either one of those would have been better. But basically, it's just this whole town, and they, gosh darn, they really love the vibe that they got in the town. And every so often, there's gonna be like a new generation, and you know what, kids these days, you just gotta kill them. You know, all
Yeah.
the
They
hippies
killed
came
like
in.
hobos,
The hippies
hippies,
came in with their weed and their ganja and their Mary Jane, man, and then
and these
they just killed them. They dressed up as clown and they killed
and this
all the hippies.
and then you had all the burnouts in the
Yeah,
90s
all
and
the
all that,
burnouts
and
in
then
the
you had
'90s with their weed and their ganja and their Mary Jane, man, and then you just
only
gotta kill
difference
them.
is they had leather.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then now,
And then it's like today's
and then
generation where
today's
TikTok.
generation with their TikToks and their cat memes and their Hazing cheeseburger, they gotta go, bruh. They gotta go. So they dress up like clowns and they
Yeah.
come to kill them. It's weird that you
And,
have basically half the town that dresses up like clowns and just butchers anyone they don't like, and then just and they're okay with that. Like
yeah, that was the
like
other thing with this.
like these guys have
Is
kids in the town that are
yeah,
being killed. Like
these are their kids.
yes,
Like
they're their kids. And maybe you can make the argument it's like, oh, it's not the whole town, you know? Like maybe it's like just the elites of the town or whatever. And I'm like,
well, which that
but
is they did set that up where it's like so it's not everyone in the town. It's not the whole town.
it's
But it is
quite a
like
lot though.
it's
It's a
at least there
small
were at
town.
least like 10 or there was at least like 10 different
10 to
clowns
20,
throughout this
it was
movie.
like 15 to
Yeah.
20.
Yeah, like there's that many cuz they do kind of have it where it's not the whole town because they are framing the one of the main characters like for this
Well, right,
event.
but you can just do that for like, obviously people from outside the town are gonna wonder what happened to all the kids here. There's a
Yeah.
big brutal
Uh
slaying here. You need to have some kind of
but
explanation for the outside world. You
yeah.
can't just keep it to
So
yourself.
my thought that I thought was really that was gonna be really cool because I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh, the town's being kind of weird about the factory burning down, and they're weird. Like that one dude's weird about Friendo and everything. Like I'm sitting here thinking like, oh, it's like some like deity or something
Hmm.
that like keeps the town prosperous or whatever,
Yeah.
and like now that the that's why the town is like falling into disrepair because the factory's gone, like someone burned it down and all this shit, and like these kids are making this mockumentary, this like parody series where they turn him into a killer, which by the way copyright infringement. That's a lawsuit. You said that instantly. You're like, that's a lawsuit. But they and I'm like, oh, so he's going around and he's like collecting his payment or something,
Yeah.
or like exacting what is owed to him or
What did you
something.
say you thought it
Uh,
was gonna be like the Scarecrow episode of Supernatural, right?
yeah, like that, where it's like something messed up. Like the town knows that Friendo comes around and he like starts killing teenagers and stuff,
Yeah.
and but they just let it happen because they know that that's what keeps the town going,
Yeah.
kind of stuff like that. Like every couple, like every, because it was like the 90s and then it's like the 20, like, so it's like maybe like every 20 years or so. And
Well, that'd be
even
30,
when
but yeah.
they, yeah, something like that. Because even when you would see, like, in the movie, they would talk about the other accidents that happened, like the other things, and it was like every, like a good
Yeah.
chunk of time.
Well, because
So
it's
it's
the
like, oh, yeah,
2020s, right? That's now. And then it was the
yeah,
burnouts in the 90s. And then it was the hippies in the 60s. And then,
yeah,
like, the hobos in the 30s. So it was, like, every 30 years, like, on the dime. So what I
yeah,
thought, I had a way better idea on the drive back home. Like, whatever they fall on like disrepair or whatever, like way back when the company first started, the original mascot that they used for like promotional whatever, the guy in the suit went crazy,
yeah,
killed a bunch of people, normal slasher stuff.
yeah,
But then for some reason, like, put in magic or souls or whatever, maybe it's just the blood in the ground or whatever, crops, 200% super profitable, business is booming after that for some reason.
yeah,
So then anytime that they fall in like big financial struggles, like say, I don't know, if the factory burns down or something,
yeah,
they just take a poor youth, brainwash him, or give him possess him with whatever spirit, and then he gets turned into the killer. Like, I don't know if you saw the Fear Street movies, but just kind of like
uh,
mentally turn someone like into a killer, into Friendo, to
yeah,
do another killing spree, and then you get the big profit again the next year or something. I
yeah,
thought that would have been more, but it's just the town, you know.
yeah.
Gosh
And
darn.
then that's the other thing, makes zero sense. So they reveal in the climax of the movie that the reason the factory burned down, so everyone thinks it's these kids that were making this serial killer thing because they were there when it burned down, but they're like, oh, it's just electrical failure, and they're like, that's not what it is, and blah blah blah. And it's like, and then they're like, the one of the main kids, his dad is like
He's
like
the
he's
mayor.
descendant of a founder.
He's either the
He's
mayor or
his
he's
dad.
the CEO of the fucking Friendo company or
his
whatever it
his
is.
family his family is descendants of the founders of the company
Yeah, they're the company
and the
owners.
town.
Whether he
Yeah,
also happens to be the mayor or not, I do not recall.
exactly. But anyway, he come to find out he burned down the factory for insurance money, which makes no sense cuz they're blaming these kids for being a bad generation and shit. That was like the biggest driving force a lot of them had, or maybe they did it to also frame them or something to set this up or whatever. Like it didn't
Unclear.
make sense. Also unnecessary. Also sidebar. Like unnecessary making like main
Oh my god.
character gay.
Yeah, that
Like they just
okay.
threw that in
Here's
there.
the thing. I'm so sick of that trope. Not that a gay
Yeah.
character, that you're gonna have a million movies with gay characters, whatever. I'm so sick of the twist that they're gay.
Yeah.
Because like I've seen so many movies, I can see it being projected miles away. Like I can already tell,
Yeah.
like, oh, they're just gonna make that guy's gonna be gay. Like that guy's gay. Okay. And
And
then
they
in the
didn't
middle they're just like,
say it. Yeah.
I'm gay, and then they're all just like, oh, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
yes, I figured that out eons ago. There's a killer clown outside. Can we focus on more important things
Yeah.
than your penis right now? Can you do that?
Then there's the fact that like they don't say it in the movie. But like you said this when we were doing it, it's like, oh, old way thinking dad is disowning his gay
Yeah.
son.
Yeah, they didn't
Like,
say he was going to kill his son and he didn't like him and his generation because he was gay, but they were kind of insinuating that he didn't like and he was going to kill his son
yeah.
because he was gay.
Now, moving away from all the negatives that we have with this movie a little bit, some of the positives. Uh,
Yeah, please.
I liked some of the kills. Some of the kills were actually pretty decent.
Hmm.
Uh, I liked what was one of them? I liked the one where it like just pushed like the
Oh
where
yeah.
you had the guy that was working out and you just like held it and basically like he basically almost made him kill himself pretty much.
Well, yeah,
Where
cuz
he
then
like
you put
just
him in a position where it's like
oh, I forgot.
cuz
I just forgot about the extra part of that.
yeah, so he's on like doing his reps on a barbell, right? And the clown's pushing down on it or just like holding him, not letting him put it up. So literally he was keeping himself alive as long as he can hold it up, and then he lost his strength and then it just bisected his entire head in half.
We forgot. I remembered something about it. I forgot about this. The clown wasn't just holding the thing. He was holding a hacksaw
Oh yeah.
on it
Oh
as
yeah, over
well.
his neck. It wasn't his head, it was over his
Yeah,
neck
yeah.
where it was.
It
And
was
then it
over his neck. He was
right
holding a hacksaw. Well,
straight
because
through
that's
it.
where it kind of like
Yeah.
it's kind of where it like naturally goes when you're doing that. But like he was holding a hacksaw on the bar and still doing that. So when his arms gave out, it just fucking cut his head off
Yeah.
and rolled like right into a cooler.
There
Like that
was
was cool.
one aspect of this movie that I really did like how they played with it was believable disability or disbelief. I mean, believable
Yes.
disbelief. Uh, this is used very well in the movie Hellfest. That like
Yes.
that haunted house amusement park movie where there's a killer. Where it's like you can believe that it's fake, it's a prank, it's whatever, because like you can do
Yeah.
like all like if somebody comes up and just stabs a guy in front of you under normal circumstances you're gonna start freaking out, there's a killer. But take Hellfest where like there's 500 dudes like fake stabbing everybody and there's like fake dead
Yeah.
bodies everywhere, so that when they see someone get stabbed for real and then they just throw their dead body on the ground, they think it's fake and it's just like, oh, it's just like
Yeah.
all the other ones going on here. They had
It's
that
where it's
here.
where
They had that here where
yeah.
the teens are like using the clown as part of their like prank videos or whatever, to the
Yeah.
point where they've been gone all day, no one has seen them, and they're not worried because they think it's a prank. And then when the clown steps out of the cornfield and throws one of the kids' severed heads from the barbell thing, and he throws the severed
Yeah.
head on them and the blood splashes on their face, they just pick it up and start like laughing with it and posing for selfies with it because they think it's a joke. Oh, haha, look, he made a fake head of himself, look how far he went.
Yeah.
And I like that because it allows the killer to get away with so much and go so much further, like see to the point of throwing their friend's head at them and they
Yeah.
still don't believe it, they're still not up
Yeah.
to speed until
Unfortunately,
someone gets a beaten in the
immediately
head.
yeah. Unfortunately, immediately after that happens, that's entirely gone, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, I
But
mean you can only have
but
it for so long, but I like
which
that
is which
use.
is the which is the point. That's the point we have. Up until the moment those other clowns walk out of the field, this is a great movie.
Yeah, I was
This is
really
a good.
feeling it.
This was in the realm of other Shutter movies we've seen. Shutter rarely misses.
Yeah.
Shutter rarely misses. This is one of those rare misses because it was feeling really good and we were really vibing with it, and then they just kind of shot themselves in the foot with the ending of it.
Hmm.
The twist of the movie is basically okay boomer.
Pretty much.
Like
Pretty much.
like
Parents
that's
just
what
don't understand.
yeah, that's kind of the That's kind of what the punchline is
See, so
here.
if they so okay, so this you really could have had the same thing but delivered so much more, right? So the clown
Yeah,
attacks, like walks out of the cornfield, throws the severed head or whatever. All the kids in the barn party scatter. You put the barn in the middle of the
yeah,
cornfield instead of on the edge. All the kids
yeah,
scatter around, and then you have kind of like a lost in the corn maze kind of thing where they're all running around, meeting up with each other, bumping into each other, crossing over this and that. They're all higgledy piggledy all over the cornfield, and the clown
and
just
you just
keeps
get
popping
like,
up. The clown just keeps
yeah,
popping up, taking swings. They run away. They run straight away from him, and then boom, he's right there again. And then you're thinking, how
yeah,
is he everywhere? He's teleporting. Like, this is how's he moving so fast? What's he do? This is so crazy. And then
yeah,
you, as the viewer, start to think that there might be a supernatural element to it, like he's teleporting, he's
yeah,
everywhere. And then, like towards the end, they all come out, and it reveals the whole time there's been multiple clowns. There's been the whole town full of clown, and then they do
yeah,
their big spiel and thing. If they had held off on the Tuds of Clowns reveal,
yeah.
it would be a much
Like
better
I
movie.
like I said, it should go you like introduction, who done it, you find out who done it, and very quickly afterwards you have very little time to start theorizing why, like, because the whole time you're thinking who done it and you're picking your people, and as you're doing that you're coming up with whys
Yeah, and then they
for
give
them,
they give you
but
the
like
mask
you
off moment, and then you get the oh it's you, but why? And then they
and
tell you,
then
but
you
why?
get why.
Yeah,
Scooby Doo. It's
dude,
very
hard
basic
eyes,
Scooby Doo shit.
scream.
Yeah, like it's very basic. Like that's what this movie billed itself as, and it complete. But instead, it gives you that, and you're just like you would have to have a double digit IQ to not get that it's the whole town immediately.
Right.
Like it's fucking super obvious.
Cause all
So
the clowns come out of the cornfield, and you see there's like 10 of them right
literally,
there, but
literally all you get,
you've only met
yeah.
like 5 adult characters in the whole movie so far. Like,
The
who the
only
fuck else
one,
is it gonna be?
literally
It's everybody we've
the
met.
the only character, literally the only one that I didn't think was part of it and then ended up being a part of it was the sheriff. And the only reason why is cuz he pulls up at one point as the sheriff.
Yeah.
Like, and
I
that's
still
where you got your
honestly.
believable disbelief thing again though.
Yeah.
Like cuz like
Because
the
they come out
sheriff
and they're
is
like, "Oh,
still,
please help us! There's people dressed as clowns coming after." And he's like,
and they're
"Oh,
covered in blood.
you and your fucking pranks again. Look at oh,
Yeah.
nice fake blood, whatever." Like, no matter what
Yeah,
they
like,
could say, I mean, he was in on it anyways. But like, there's that believable disbelief,
yeah.
Because
Like
like, hey,
stuff
if
like
I was
that.
the
But
sheriff, and I wasn't in on it, and then
these are the kids
I would assume
causing
the
problems.
same thing. Exactly.
Yeah.
Fucking
The only
pranks
other
again.
kill, speaking of the sheriff, the only other kill in this movie that I thought was really, really good was when he was killed
Mm.
because she like shoves a cattle prod down his fucking throat
And then just
and like just
electrocutes the
scorches the
inside.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. I liked that. That one was okay. But other than,
One little nitpick
oh
I have is because
yeah,
this is meant to be like kind of a comedy, right?
yeah,
So like there's a little funniness to it. There's a scene at the end, like the final kill. Um, they made a whole thing
oh
in
yeah,
the earlier that she doesn't know how to drive stick, and her dad was gonna teach her how to drive stick. So they hop in a
yeah,
car to make their final getaway, and it's a stick. So he's like, okay, well, no better time to learn than now. He's like, okay, so you're gonna go
yeah,
into gear 1, and you're going to ease onto the gas, and then she's like trying to get in the hang of it, right? And then the last clown standing is at the end of the thing, and he's got a chainsaw or whatever the fuck he's got, and he's about to attack him, right? And then he's like, okay, go to gear 5 and just slam on the brakes, go get him. And I'm like, that would have been so much funnier if he just took it so like exactly that, like he continued the same demeanor. He's like, okay, so Now you have okay, so honey, now what you have is a killer clown in your direct pathway. So what now the proper thing is you're going to grab the stick and you're going to shift it to gear 5 and then you're going to pedal to the fucking metal and run his ass over, okay? Got it, honey? Nice, sweet. Go. Good job. That's daddy's girl.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
that kind of. But that
get
that
your
that
clown.
same kill was so stupid because they like hit him and the dude fucking liquefies.
Well, that's what gear 5
Like,
does. You don't know how to drive stick either.
oh, oh, fair, right? uh,
uh,
but no,
anyways,
it was just kind of random stuff, and I hated that 90% of the jump scares was via Jack in the Box.
yeah. What do you mean 90? That was
Like
all
that
of
was
them were
stuff.
Jack in the Box.
True. It's just this movie billed itself as one thing, and it was very disappointing to to see it go in the direction it did.
Yeah, it just didn't
Uh
meet expectations, and it
yeah,
is what it
go
is.
ahead. Why don't we go ahead into the rankings, Kel? You could start.
I'm gonna give this a 5, just straight up. It started out, it was gonna get like a 7, but then it dropped down because like there was just I was so disappointed in the direction it took. Like on the ride home from the movie, like I thought of like 3 different ways you could have like rewritten the thing, and I guess it's based off a book, so you can't take too much leniency or whatever, but given the story what it is, it would be better if you just took any of the other decisions that I came up with, because I just didn't feel how it ended and
Yeah.
how it went about and how it middled and how it began.
Yeah.
I didn't like the paths that they chose here and the timing of when they chose to reveal things and why.
Yeah, I'm also giving this movie a 5 out of 10. It's a pretty low 5 out of 10 too.
Yeah, me
Like it's
too.
close to a 4.
I I
Like
I
this
think the
is
only 5 below this is Rosario, and then it's the Force.
yeah.
It's a low 5.
I It's a very low 5. It was just not. This is not what I thought it would be. Like, I was kind of disappointed in Shudder with this. I mean, it very much was still a Shudder movie. Like, it still had that air that all Shudder movies have. But it just they were cooking with something, and it wasn't. They didn't deliver.
Yeah.
They
I'm
were
sure
cooking with something, and then they burned it.
they were cooking, but the stove was off.
There you go.
I'm sure Shudder's not wholly responsible for this, but
True.
it's not the best thing on their resume so far. All right.
Yeah.
That being said, that'll be the end of our podcast here. Isaac, why don't you give our lovely viewers a little hint at what we could be seeing next time?
Next time we are looking at the new Final Destination Bloodlines movie.
Oh
It's
yeah,
the newest Final Destination.
number
Those are always
6.
fun. Number 6, yeah. We have Hurry Up Tomorrow. Enough said. And we have the new Paul Rudd and I don't even know the guy's name.
The
The
55
55
burgers,
burgers,
55
55
hot dogs,
burgers.
55 taters. That
Yeah,
guy.
that guy. They're in a movie together called Friendship, and we're gonna check that out.
Cool. All right. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe because it keeps us going back to the theaters and bringing these movies back here to you. And until next time, guys, that's a wrap.
Roll credits.